Today I'm opening up slime from Shein and seeing if it needs fixing. Hit subscribe and let's get started. Okay, so I ordered more slime from Shein. I kind of have an addiction at this point, but honestly, I kind of love their slime. There were 3 slimes in this package, but the one I'm going to start with is the one that leaked. And in my mind, I kind of just wanted to get the worst one out the way so we could get to the better ones. I'm not sure what had happened here, but it was wrapped in plastic, so it didn't spill outside of this bag, but the slime did leak. I opened it up and I was just not looking forward to it because it just looked like it was going to be a sticky mess, but it honestly wasn't actually too bad. The slime kind of just slid out of the bag, and to be honest, it really wasn't that sticky. Obviously, the slime leaking isn't the best first impression, but I was actually really happy with the color of this. It was like a blue and purple, almost color shifting color. I removed the excess slime from the lid and then opened it up, and it was beautiful. It almost looked like some type of magic potion or something, like it looked mesmerizing. However, as pretty as it looked, it did look very sticky. Yes, the color was gorgeous and I was excited to play with it, but I was kind of dreading it at the same time just because I really didn't think it was going to be that nice. I decided to go in slow and just tap my finger on top, and I was shocked because I literally thought this was going to be liquid and it wasn't sticky at all. I definitely misjudged this slime completely because I thought I was going to have to fix it, but there was nothing wrong with it. In fact, it was actually really unique, so I'm glad I didn't do anything. Obviously, the color itself was super unique, but the slime kind of felt like it was melted, but it just wasn't sticky. And it was kind of a strange sensation when you played with it because you were expecting it to just stick to your hands and melt everywhere, but it just wouldn't. It's almost like it had some type of non-stick layer on it, like a non-stick pan, and absolutely nothing would stick into this. I tried to play with it as much as I could to try and really figure out if I did need to do anything to this, and I just tried to get it to stick to me, but I literally couldn't. In fact, the more I played with it, I feel like it got less sticky. I'm not sure if this is a type of activator they used or a type of glue or another ingredient, but either way, I was impressed. And I definitely want to know the secret ingredient or their secret to this slime. I didn't want to mess this one up or fix it or give it a makeover, so I just put it back into the container, played with it a little bit more, and then decided to close the lid shut. But overall, I'm really impressed with this one, and maybe I'll try and see if I can recreate the texture. Okay, so this next one did come bubble wrapped and so far doesn't look like it leaked. To be honest, a lot of these slimes from Shein don't come bubble wrapped, so it's actually quite nice to see that this one was actually protected. I opened it up and to be honest, I just wasn't sure what this packaging was. It almost looked like it was not really meant for slime. And I mean that as in it kind of looks like something you'd get in a lunchbox that was disposable. Now this slime was I guess lime themed because it had a lemon sticker on top and it was dyed lime green. And when I eventually got this open, I could smell that it did not smell like lime or lemon. It kind of just had this chemically weird scent that I can't really describe that just got stronger the more I played with it. Now watching back this footage, the texture doesn't look too bad and you can't really see the grease that was on it, but the slime kind of had this slimy greasy substance that was like not fully mixed into it and it just felt a little bit strange. I didn't love it. Sometimes this happens when a slime separates, but this felt different to that because even after I mixed the base of it in, the slime still kind of had that weird slipperiness to it that I haven't really felt before. And to be honest, that with the smell of it was kind of putting me off this a little bit, even though it didn't look that bad on camera. I mean, the texture was okay, it was squishy and stretchy at least, but I just hated the kind of slimy, sticky feeling that it would leave on my hands. And I just really wasn't sure what this ingredient was that was making it feel this way. So I did make the decision that I wanted to fix this, or at least change it up a bit to try and get rid of that sensation. I placed it into a bowl and then decided to add some plastic fake snow. You might be wondering why I chose this as the first ingredient, and to be honest, it was kind of to try and get rid of the greasiness of it. It doesn't make the most sense, but it was the first thing that came to mind, so I just mixed it in, and to be honest, it seemed like it was working. Now, I was a little bit worried that because the slime had a kind of greasy texture, the snow might fall out, but luckily it actually mixed in very quickly and seemed to absorb it pretty much immediately. I added about half a cup of snow to start with, and it just didn't really seem to change the texture enough, so I added another half and mixed this in to make it a bit more crunchy. Now, this second round of snow also mixed in easily, but it kind of made the slime a little bit tough. Like, as you can see, it was still stretchy, but just not as stretchy and as soft as I wanted it to be. So I only wanted to add a little bit, but I decided to add some light clay to it. Now this would hopefully just pull everything together a bit, make it a little bit softer and make it more stretchy, kind of giving it a butter fizz texture. Now obviously you can't really see this, but when I mixed in the clay, it did feel a little bit greasy, but the more I mixed it, the less greasy it became and it went back to its kind of non-greasy texture it was with just the snow in. I'm kind of thinking it might be a reaction with the glue or a lotion that's in it with the clay that they used, but either way it was fixed now. Now the next thing that we needed to fix was the fragrance of this, because it did not smell good. I decided to keep the lime green theme and go in with a lime fragrance, which was really fresh. And then to change things up a little bit, I split the slime in two and dyed one side this kind of light turquoise color. Now, I only added a tiny bit of this and it didn't really change the color up much, so I ended up going in with a stronger dye after mixing this in. And I accidentally made it a little bit too blue, but it still kind of looks green. It's kind of turquoise. But once that was done, it was time to combine it again with the light green slime from earlier and then just swirl it into a container. Although it was a little bit too blue, mixed with the green, it definitely still looked like a lime themed slime. I swirled this up and then decided to top it with some sprinkles. Now, I went in with this mix of white, blue, and green sprinkles just because I felt like it actually complemented the slime really well, and then found this stingray charm, some fake ice cubes, and then this giant fake lime. This was kind of giving to me a tropical lime milkshake or like a tropical lime smoothie, and I was really happy with the result. It was so satisfying to mix everything together, and I can't lie, I was so happy that the smell went away and we fixed the kind of greasy, weird texture. It's definitely not perfect, and I can't lie, it's still a tiny bit greasy, but it's a lot nicer than it was before, and at least it smells better now. I'm also really happy with how the color turned out. The two tones of it mixed together to make this kind of turquoisey lime that I think is really beautiful. And I definitely think this is an improvement to what we received. Okay, so next up we have the first slime that came in a box, and this came with 3 different things, or 4 different things if we're including the activator that's provided. The first impressions of this were great, and it was honestly the most professional looking slime that we'd had today. I guess you could say this is kind of an assemble your own slime kit, and this is the blue milk tea part of the set. The first thing that I noticed was that the texture was very thick, and it also smelled amazing. It kind of smelled exactly like blueberry yogurt, and I honestly loved it so much. It was super stretchy, super soft, and just overall kind of a perfect slime. And to be honest, if they just sent this alone, I'd still have been happy with it. And I kind of had to stop myself from just playing with this and actually review the slime. Eventually, I did put it back into the container because I didn't want to put too many air bubbles in it, and then I moved on to the clear blue slime. And this was so cute. I don't know what it is about mini things, but I just think they're adorable. Not only did it come in this cool domed container, but the slime was crystal clear. This one didn't have a scent, but I think it's just to top the slime, so it doesn't really matter. I placed this on top and I really loved how this looked. And then of course opened up the bag of boba beads and then this super realistic boba charm. I always get a little bit worried with these types of slimes because sometimes they look great and then the beads just fall out, but they seem to just be sticking immediately, which was a great sign. Obviously this looked amazing, but it looked even better with the boba charm on top, and I was seriously impressed. It looked so pretty, I kind of didn't really want to mix it, but of course I did, and this was so satisfying. The clear slime texture and the beads just mixed in perfectly and just blended together to form this really smooth kind of glossy texture. And as you could see, that there was no fallout of any of the boba pearls, and although they're kind of just a decoration to the slime, they actually made the texture feel really unique and even put more air bubbles into it when I was swirling it. It's pretty obvious, but this one doesn't need to be fixed and was actually my favorite. Well, that was so much fun. I really loved opening these slimes and seeing which ones needed a little bit of fixing. We actually got pretty lucky with this set from Shein, but you never know what to expect. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to hit subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.